If you want to put me in, put me in.
You want to put me in? Put me in. What's going on, beautiful people? I am here in Iraq. It is dark, right? Okay. So today I want to talk about a post on, I'm a sucker for social media. A post a friend of mine put on Facebook after me and him had a small discussion about police brutality. Now, this is me paraphrasing, but he mentioned that he was at the Ritz. Police were called for a fight. They came to his door for some reason. He opened the door politely, and he didn't end up getting shot. There's a little something wrong with that. First off, you're at the Ritz. If anybody that knows anything about the hotels, you know that the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, it's not a cheap hotel. So that's not going to be a hotel that's going to be in the hood. That's not going to be a hotel that's in a heavily policed area. Law enforcement may show up when, I don't know, there's a fight, but they're not going to be up your ass like they would if you were in the hood. Another thing that I want to point out about that is he did everything he was supposed to do. He did everything correctly. There was a fight, police were called, they knocked on your door, they wanted to ask you a question, you politely opened the door, and you did not get shot. However, more recently, a gentleman was in his own home. Something happened. Policeman knocked on the door. He opened the door, wanted to know what the policewoman, I'm sorry, and he ended up taking a bullet to the chest. What did he do? Literally nothing. Nothing. He didn't do anything. I mean, he got shot and died, but he didn't do anything. So what happens in these scenarios when it's a black man? They die, and their backgrounds are looked into. Oh, they had tickets. They had this many interactions with the police. Oh, they had drugs. However, in this situation, this man was described as literally everything but a fucking saint. So there was a problem. He's dead. He's not a gang member. He's not a bad father. He's not a drug addict. Oh, wait a minute. There was weed found in his apartment after a search warrant was executed. Why is a search warrant executed on a victim's apartment, you might ask? Well, you might as well ask, because that's what everybody else has been asking. Because no one fucking knows. This is my problem with addressing police brutality in America. Unfortunately, when I'm addressing it with other Americans. People want to believe that the police are infallible, that they make no mistakes. Or they may say, yeah, they mess up, they have a hard job, yada, 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 yada. But they almost always want to blame the victim. You run away. You shouldn't have been running. And they're absolutely right in saying that. No, you shouldn't have been running. But you also shouldn't have got shot in the back for it. You shouldn't have been resisting. But unless you're trying to kill the officer, you also shouldn't have died. You shouldn't sell loose cigarettes, but you also shouldn't get choked out to the point that you die because you're selling loose cigarettes. I could go on for days, which is a problem. An appropriate answer for the question, did you hear about the unarmed person that got shot by the police? An appropriate answer for that question would be, which one? My problem with Americans is not police. I don't dislike police. They serve a purpose. They are to enforce the laws placed by America. However, when you don't understand why someone may fear or dislike or be uncomfortable around police officers, just say you don't understand it. Don't tell me that I should feel differently as a black man in America just because you've had all positive interactions with police. Don't tell me that I should walk in their boots, that I should join the police force. It takes 6 months to become a police officer, but it takes 8 years to become a lawyer. So you mean to tell me that I can graduate high school and go out and enforce law by lethal means if necessary, but in order for me to say I understand the law well enough for it to be my career field, it takes me 8 years versus 6 months? I can literally be qualified to kill someone for breaking the law faster than I could be qualified to defend someone against an unjust law. When you tell me that it is inappropriate for me to not be upset about law enforcement incorrectly enforcing laws, when you tell me that everything is not a race issue, that I shouldn't feel like I should have a firearm on me when I am stateside, I have a problem with that. Because the issue is not always a color issue, which is absolutely right. The issue is people either don't understand the perspective of black people in the climate that America is in now, or they don't care. The problem is people don't want to simply say one or the other. If you don't give a damn, say I don't care. If you don't understand, shut the fuck up, open your ears, and try to understand. What's up, man?
What's going on? You just left the gym?
Be quiet.
Oh, okay.
And try to understand. I get it when you don't get it. Think about this. The black woman was looked at as so resilient and so beautiful and so graceful. She was able to withstand so much that somebody decided that in the name of medical science that they would cut her open to figure out how the woman's body worked. There's a statue of that person now. And he fathered a science called gynecology. As a black man, your stature, your strength, your resolve was sought after, and it was such a threat that when you were stolen from one place and taken to another, that the people that took you decided they would either castrate you or they would buck break you. They would literally draw crowds to bend you over and fuck you. Think about that. Just your skin and how you carried yourself was intimidating enough for someone to believe that you felt nothing and that they had to break you. in order to control you. And now in this day and age, I have somebody trying to tell me that I shouldn't feel bad. I shouldn't feel anything if a police officer goes home after shooting a black man in the back. That I shouldn't feel anything if I look at Sandra Bland's face too fast and I think she looks like my ex-wife. That I shouldn't feel an inkling of emotion if I hear the name Stephen Clark and it bothers me because I have a cousin by the exact same name. I shouldn't feel anything because of that. I shouldn't be bothered by the fact that these people, some of them, do their jobs incorrectly and take an innocent life over what comes out to be a cell phone. I shouldn't be bothered by the fact that someone is now dead, was shot dead in front of his baby's mother and a child. And his last words were, I'm not, as he was shot by a police officer while saying, do not reach for the weapon that he was legally licensed to carry and had alerted the police officer that he had on him. That shouldn't bother me. I should just feel like all police officers are perfect people. Even though people of all races, colors, nationalities, and genders are prone to fucking up. I should just take a walk in the boots of a police officer. To the person who gave me that bit of advice, I nearly did take that same walk in the boots of a police officer. I nearly joined the LAPD, but I decided against it while sitting in a chair in a security uniform with a badge pinned to my chest, watching a video of a police officer taking a shooter's stance and shooting an old-ass hobbling man in the back, then kicking his taser towards that man's dead body.
Oh, that's crazy.
I have an aunt that is a high-ranking police officer that told me not to become a police officer. I have family members, when I told them I would like to join the LAPD, that they advised me to join another branch of the military. And I told them if I joined another branch, I was joining the Marines. And they gave me the go-ahead. Even after I told them that I would most likely, as a Marine, be in a combat environment, actively engaging people that would like to kill me. They were more comfortable with that idea than me being in my community as a police officer. When I say I thought about purchasing an armored vehicle for family road trips, I'm not thinking as a prepper. I'm not thinking this is something cool to do. I'm thinking as this is something that will preserve my life and the lives of my family members in case some police officer was too afraid to do his job properly and decided that I deserved to be shot a few times. I decided that I didn't think it would be a good look for my death to go viral and those images be placed into my daughter's head. But I'm the bad guy. After I watch several types of videos just like the image that I am trying to avoid, I watched them several times. But I'm the bad guy because I want to defend myself. Because I want to take precautions against this. I'm the bad guy because I hope that my daughter doesn't feel the Glock that I have tucked in my waistband when I hug her. I'm the bad person. Did anybody that wants to defend the actions of these officers, did you ever stop to think why a black man or a black person or anybody that is upset with the actions of police, not the just actions, not when you're doing your job. Nobody's talking about when police officers are properly executing their duties. No one's talking about those officers. We're talking about the ones that kill somebody and go home on paid vacation, on paid leave, or they retire, or they get fired and they join another police department. Those are the officers that we're talking about. We're not talking about the people that do their jobs correctly every day. Anybody with a fucking brain knows that those people are necessary. Law enforcement, they enforce the law. They're doing it properly. No one gives a shit about what they do because they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, what they're paid to do by the taxpayer. They're enforcing the laws. They may be assholes about it. We may be unhappy about seeing a police officer roll up behind us because we know we were speeding. But to not feel like you may possibly get shot instead of getting a ticket would be a great thing in America. When someone is so affected by police officers incorrectly doing their job that they have to say Black Lives Matter, and appropriate response is not White Lives Matter. You don't in turn protest a protest of injustice. What sense does that make? You're so American and so brave and so for the Constitution and the home of the free, yada, 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 until it's time to actually make America great again. Until it's actually time to do something. You want to say it all day. You love the acronyms. MAGA, MAGA. You love those stupid fucking ads. But you don't want to actually take the initiative to do something. You don't want to take the first step. You don't want to ask the question, why do you feel it's necessary to say your life matters? Of course your life matters. Why do you feel like it's necessary for you to remind us of that? I can give you a hint. It probably didn't just come out of the fucking air. That somebody had to feel like, you know what, I should probably remind these people that I'm human too. That I'm American too. Nobody's making this shit up. This is not a left or right or Democrat or Republican fucking issue. Everybody want to scream how patriotic they are and about the Constitution and about people's rights. Until it's time to start exercising some rights or correcting those that are violating them. You got everything to say when somebody wants to protest, when somebody throws a fist in the air, when somebody takes a knee. You have all the speech in the world. However, when it comes down to actions, when it comes down to making America great again, you are silent. You don't want to do anything. You want to tell the people that are saying, this problem needs to be fixed. You want to tell them that they're wrong for some reason, which is fucking retarded. When asked, what should people do when they ask, well, you shouldn't protest this way. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. When a motherfucker asks, well, what should I do? You have no answers. And the reason you have no answers is because as long as those people aren't rioting and shooting motherfucking police, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're being as American as they fucking can be. America became America and continue to stay America by resistance. No war that was ever fought for American freedoms was won by America going and sitting there not doing a damn thing. We did some shit. We killed some motherfuckers. We dropped some bombs on some fucking people. We did something. But you want to be consistent in your complacency.
You can't drive in the lights off. I'm sorry.
You want to be consistent in your complacency. You want to be comfortable. America was founded on getting uncomfortable. But you don't want to do that because it requires work.
Wow.
It requires effort. You don't want to put in the effort to make America great again. You want to wear a hat. You want to wear a hat.
You did drove all the way down the street to the lights off.
I am walking around in Iraq. It would make no sense if I was to be like, you know what? I haven't seen a suicide bomber. This country is not a threat to me. These people that are driving around in these armored vehicles and have these fully automatic weapons don't need to be here. I know that this country I'm in is a dangerous one. Just because the danger has not affected me does not mean that it no longer exists. Just because a danger or a problem does not affect you does not mean it doesn't exist. When people bring it up, what you should do, the proper response, is to try to figure out why
Who is the threat?
this problem exists, who the threat is, and weed those people out. No one is saying all police officers are bad people. Hell, no one is saying all white people are bad people. But when you see a white person that's doing something shitty, say, hey, you're doing something shitty. I do it all the time. To people that look like me, to black people. If you on some fuckery, I say it. I do it to men and women. You don't get a pass on some fuck shit just because you're black. No one should get a pass on doing some fuckery just because they wear a badge. Think about it. That's it.